Hi, this is an after purchase video for the BMW lock cylinder removal tool, and it's very possibly one of the most important videos in the series. It deals with rekeying the lock cylinder and inserting the lock cylinder into your luggage. As I have repeated in several of my videos and also mentioned in the rekey video that I send out that belongs to another guy, it's extremely important that you do not put a wafer in to this slot here, which is the one very next to the lock wafer. Here's the lock wafer. Here's the slot very next to it, top and bottom, and it must always be empty. If you do put a wafer in this slot, wanting to be very efficient or thorough, you've got big trouble, because when you insert the lock cylinder into the luggage, no matter what it is, or gas cap or fuel door lid or seat lock, the key will be permanently locked into the cylinder and you cannot remove the key. So in that case, the only way to remove the cylinder to correct the mistake is to disassemble the top case or saddlebag, or otherwise destroy something to get the lock cylinder out. And over the years, actually within the last year, I've had 2 customers that bought the tool that were warned about this several times, and in their impatience or their need to be thorough or whatever, have gone ahead and put a wafer in there and then have contacted me with, how do I get the key out of the lock, because I can't get the key out now that I've rekeyed it. And despite my repeated warnings, they do this anyway. And it's just the last year that this has happened, in all the years I've been selling the tool, which has forced me to make this video, just to be clear. So under no circumstances are you to put a wafer in this slot here, which is just right next to the lock wafer. You cause yourself lots of problems and expense if you do, so please don't do it. Secondly, when you go to insert the freshly keyed lock cylinder into your luggage or lock, 2 things. 1, be sure you grease over the lock wafer, over all the wafers, top and bottom, to lubricate the lock. A light grease is best, but any grease you have is fine. Axle grease, lithium grease, whatever you have. And also put a little bit of grease on the tip here where it contacts the internal lock mechanism. After you've installed it in your luggage, you need to double check yourself to make sure that the lock cylinder is in fact seated. You do that after you insert it into your luggage. You turn the lock about 1/8 of a turn either direction, and then pull on the key. And if the lock cylinder, of course, is correctly inserted, it will stay in the luggage. The key will not come out. The lock cylinder will not come out. Everything is fine. Then you can go ahead and return the lock to the standard position, pull the key out, and go about your way. If the lock cylinder is installed incorrectly, meaning upside down, it will still go in the lock. It'll still turn. The lock will operate, but going down, when you pull your key out, the lock cylinder will be loose inside the lock, and through vibration and bumps, the lock cylinder will fall out going down the road. So to double check that this is in fact correctly locked or locked into the hole in the luggage, you insert it however you put it in, depending on the generation of luggage that you have. Turn the key 1/8 of a turn in any direction, and then pull on the key. If If nothing happens, you just get some resistance to the key and the key cannot come out, or obviously the lock cylinder, then you've done it right. Go ahead and put the key in position you want, remove it, and you're in good shape. But always double check when you insert this into your luggage or gas cap lid or seat lock. Turn the key just about 1/8 of a turn and then pull on the key to make sure that the lock cylinder is indeed secured inside the luggage or lock. That's the last bit of information about doing this. And please, if you have any questions about removing the lock cylinder, use of the tool, or rekeying, don't try to figure it out on your own. It just gets expensive when you do that. So feel free to call or text me. Everybody that gets a card gets my number with my card. And feel free to use it. Don't be afraid to ask for help. I know how we are. Have a good day.